Hey everybody, I'm here today with a motivational rant. And the focus of this motivational rant will be making every day the best day of your life. And I'll explain the reasoning behind my thinking right now. So every day you wake up being more experienced than the previous day. So every day that you wake up, you are the most experienced. You are more experienced than you have ever been before. Now, I am also a fan of the train of thought that says you learn something new every day. Now, whether you know it or whether you know it or not, you are learning new things all the time. You are having new discoveries, you are exploring new things. So with that train of thought in mind, every day that you wake up, you are also more knowledgeable than the day before. So, putting those things together, every day you are more knowledgeable than you have ever been before, and you are also more experienced than you have ever been before. So technically every day should be the best day of your life right off the bat. But there are days in which unfortunate things happen. And you're probably thinking, well, let's say something unfortunate happens. How can that day be the best day of my life when there are other days in which unfortunate things did not happen? And I'll use one of my own personal examples for that, okay? So I was in high school. I was in grade 11. It was the day before the final exams, and I was rollerblading home from high school. I wanted to save some money on bus fare, and I also wanted to get some exercise. So I was rollerblading home. I took a really intense fall, and I broke my wrist, and I also broke a few of my fingers. Most of it healed perfectly fine. However, if you look at this finger right here, it's not very straight. Hopefully the camera will catch this. It's a little bit crooked, just a bit. Okay, I'll even move my wedding ring. It's a bit crooked. Okay, so how could that day be the best day of my life? I was in a cast for a long time after that. I was in a very severe pain. How could that day have been the best day of my life? Well, I learned a lot. Okay, I learned to be careful when rollerblading. That I learned that I'm not invincible because I hadn't broken any bones before. So I learned that I wasn't, practically invincible like many grade 11 kids think. I also learned to be, well, like I said, careful that I wasn't invincible, that I wasn't invincible. And I also learned that I should honestly take every bone in my body and every day. I should not take them for granted. So with that being said, I actually learned a lot. Now the price for that lesson was having to wear a cast for a while, having to endure the pain of breaking those bones, and having to do my own version of rehabilitation just to get my fingers moving properly again, and having to live with this crooked finger for the rest of my life. So it was an intense lesson. However, having learned those things on that day, I did actually learn a lot. I learned to be positive in a negative situation because it was a very negative situation, but I learned to come out of it in a positive manner. Now, here's a fun piece of the story. I actually had my own cell phone that I was paying for by myself, just so that you don't get the wrong idea. I had my own cell phone at the time. It was a really old cell phone. If you look at it compared to today's standards, oh my goodness, it was totally different. Anyways, I had my own cell phone, and I could have phoned my dad or my mom to say, listen, I broke my fingers and my wrist, please come and pick me up. But no, I actually rollerbladed home the rest of the way, which was like a solid 15-minute rollerblade. That was what was left of the trip. So I learned to endure through the pain because it was super painful. I learned to be persistent and resilient. So actually, that really was the best day of my life, by far at that point in time. Now, today is the best day of my life because I am the most knowledgeable and the most experienced, with regards to myself. But any negative situation can be turned into a positive situation. You just have to make the effort. Don't be negative, be positive. And that is the one exception to you are the most experienced and the most knowledgeable today. That is the one exception. When something unfortunate happens, you have to stay positive. And that's basically it. I just wanted to make this video, this motivational rant video, to talk to you about making every day the best day of your life. Time is pretty much the only commodity that you cannot get back, okay? Pretty much. So every minute that passes by, you will never get that minute back, all right? So keep that in mind, and it'll be much easier for you to stay positive. And that's basically it. I hope that you have enjoyed this motivational rant. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.